I wanted to show you the Unit 6 posters. This one is for multiplying binomials, or polynomials, sorry. So at the top you can see I have a monomial times a trinomial. This is what we did yesterday. We took a single piece and distributed it 3 times because there were 3 terms inside there. So as long as you have a monomial out there, you're just doing a distribution, just however many terms there are. And of course, multiply the big coefficients. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Add the exponents. X to the first times x squared is x to the third. Multiply times the second term. Negative 2 times 4 is a negative 8. X times x is x squared. Coefficients again, negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10, and x times no other x's is still an x. So there it is when you're multiplying, and it's just a pure monomial at the beginning. But if you have a binomial times a binomial, this is your double distribution. The x gets distributed to the first one, and it gets distributed to the second one, and then you come back and multiply the negative 3 times the x and the negative 3 times the 4. So use these little lines to help you keep track of which ones you've done and which ones you haven't. So I always start off with the first term and multiply it times the first one and the next one. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is going to be a negative. There's a 1 in front of that x. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And x times no x's, it still stays x. Then I'm going to come back and distribute the negative 3 times the first one. So negative 3 times x is just negative 3x. And negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. And again, you can put the math in the calculator, and you can put 1s in front of the x's to help you with that if you want to do it in the calculator. Now that the parentheses are gone, like terms, the x and the x go together. So x squared just stays x squared. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7, and you don't change the somethings. They stay x's. And then plus 12 on the end stays plus 12 because there are no other like terms. So there is your multiplying a binomial. So on the worksheet today, you're going to do that over and over. I've got the answers on here for the warm-up if you want to look at those. If you haven't done the warm-up, go do it first, and then you can come check your answers, so pause the video. If you've already done it, here we go. Check your answers. You have 7x, and 7 times 5 is a negative 35. Then here, same thing, we're distributing to get rid of the parentheses. That's 12, and x times x is x squared, and 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, and x times no other x's stays x. They are not like terms. They are not like terms, so you leave it like that. This one, I have parentheses, can't do what's inside, parentheses, can't do what's inside, so I'm going to distribute what's right in front, which is a lovely little monomial. So I just have a single piece times the first one. 3 times the big 1 there is 3, and x times x is x squared. 3 times 2 is a positive 6, and x's times no x's stays that x in there. I still have to multiply times the x. Second parentheses, I stop there because that's the end of the parentheses. And then this set of parentheses has a negative 4 in front of it. So I'm going to distribute negative 4 times x, which is negative 4x. I can make the x. And then negative 4 times 5, which is a negative 20. And there are no x's in either one of those, and so I don't have any x's in the answer. Like terms, well, by golly, yes, there's 2 like terms there. So 3x squared stays that. 6 somethings minus 4 somethings is a positive 2 somethings, and I don't change them. And there is my negative 20 on the end of that there is no other like terms that are constants. So there's the warm-up. Here we go with multiplying binomials times binomials. So just like I showed you on the poster, go look at your poster if you want to have it as a go-by. You're going to do a double distribution. This is a binomial, not a monomial anymore. So I need to distribute the x, the first part, the first term times both pieces, and I'm going to distribute the second term times both pieces. So use your little lines to keep track. X times x, x squared. X times 2, positive 2x. And I know it's positive because positive times positive is positive. 5 times x is 5x. How do I know what the sign's going to be? Positive times positive is positive. If the signs are the same, it's positive. If the signs are different, it's negative. Positive times positive for the second one. I'm going to distribute it to this one. Positive times positive is a positive, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now the parentheses are gone, combine like terms. These 2 x's in the middle are like terms. So I still have 1x squared or x squared. 2 plus 5 is a positive 7x, and plus 10 on the end. You do that same process over and over and over. So next problem, x plus 3 times x plus 7. It is multiplication. I've got a binomial that's being multiplied, so I need to distribute it both pieces. X times x. So again, stop the video whenever you want, pause it, go do some problems, and then come back and check your answers. You want to work some of these on your own and then check them. And if you miss them, correct it. X times the next piece. 7 times x is 7x, and it's positive because they were both positive. And then positive times positive is going to be a positive answer. 3 times x is 3x. And positive times positive will also be a positive answer. And 3 times 7 is a 21. And there are no x's in that because there were no x's on either of those pieces. Like terms, the middle two x's go together. So we have x squared. 7 somethings plus 3 somethings is 10 somethings. And plus 21. And none of those are like terms. So that is your answer to multiplying those two binomials. Next one down here, x plus 2 times x minus 4, it is multiplication, and I do have a binomial, so it's a double distribution. X times x is x squared. X times negative 4, positive times negative is negative 4x. 2 times x is 2x, and both of them are positive, so positive 2x. 2 times a negative 4 is a negative 8. Like terms are these two in the middle, so I have a lovely x squared. Negative and positive, so bad guys are going to win, and there's 2 of them left alive, and negative 8 on the end. There we go. And we have one more over here. Binomial times binomial, it is multiplication, so I'm going to do a double distribution, x times x, x squared. And if you have not done any of these on your own, pause this video and go try this one on your own. X squared, and then multiply x times negative 1. Positive times negative is negative, and you can do 1 times negative 1, and it will tell you negative 1. And I have an x with it. And then you can do 6 times 1 because there's a 1 in front of it, and it will tell you positive 6. And since there's an x in the problem, I need to have an x in the answer. And then 6 times negative 1 is a negative 6. Combine like terms. X squared. Negative 1 plus 6 is 5x. And negative 6 stays that because there are no other like terms with it. Okay, got 2 more problems you can do. It is multiplication. It's a binomial times a binomial. They're just a little bit fancier because it's just not x times x. When you're multiplying coefficients, 2 times 8, multiply the big coefficients and add the exponents. X times x is x squared. 2 times 5 is 10, so that's a plus 10. Oops, if I can make a 10 on this without it moving, there we go. X times no x's still leaves me with an x in the answer. Then come back and 1 times 8 is a positive 8 with an x because there's an x in the problem. And then I have 1 times 5, and there are no x's, so that's a plus 5. And then I'm going to combine my like terms. They go together. So I have 16x squared. Let me write this down, and I'll come back to you. Combine the like terms, 10x and 8x is 18x, and plus 5 goes on the end. So I combine those two to get 18x. The 16x squared stays that. The 5 stays that. Last one, binomial times binomial. So it's a double distribution. So go do this if you haven't done it. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times, oops, if I can get this to stay still, 3 times 2 is 6x, because I have a single x. So there's my plus 6x. Now, negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6. And since I have an x in the problem, I need an x in the answer. So there's my negative 6x. Oops, I should do the line, so I just did that one. And now negative 2 times 2 is a negative 4, and there are no x's with those, so that stays negative 4. Combine your like terms. So there are my like terms. 9x squared is going to stay 9x squared, but what happens to my 6x and 6x? 6 minus 6 is 0, so they cancel each other out. Boom, they're gone. So we have 9x squared minus 4 is your final answer. All right, I've got a video for the next part of it, so go watch the next video.